Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Alan and today's video is about a family disaster preparedness plan. Watch through the video. At some point during said video, I will let you know where you can go and download my plan, which is a plan and a template to enable you to write a comprehensive disaster preparedness plan for your family that, without blowing my own trumpet, blows out the water, the government's version and every resilience forum's version that I can find. Let's have a look. So the first page of the plan basically gives you information about what it's about. Then we have a section that you can identify potential risks. There are some default ones, if you like, that are already listed. And then there's a room there for you to add any more that you think may affect you. Step 2 is about creating a communication plan. It gives you some tips and some bullet points there. Step 3, build emergency kits. This is to prepare kits for your home, your car and work, and then gives lists. They are not exhaustive and should be tailored for your individual needs and purposes. Step 4, make an evacuation plan. Subheadings: know your routes, transportation plan, designated rest centres. Then it goes on, other locations, and it gives you some examples of where they may be. Mentions, locating your evac pack somewhere where everybody knows where it is. Neighbourhood support and actions on what to do in the event that you have to leave quickly. There is an area for you to record where your isolation valves and isolation switches are to turn off your electricity, your water, your gas or your heating oil, things like that. Then step 5, that's for planning for special needs. So if you've got children or elderly family members, people with disabilities or pets, that sort of thing, it gives you bullet points and tips on what you need to consider, and again gives you a section that's at the bottom of the document for you to add your own notes that are applicable or not. Step 6 is practice and plan. Again, it gives you tips on what you should be doing. Step 7 is all about staying informed. It gives again tips, bullet points of what you should be looking to do. You then have a section to record the names and frequencies of your local radio stations. It gives you advice on what to expect if there's a nationwide incident. It then lists the various BBC radio stations and their transmitting frequencies depending on what part of the country you're in. Then local BBC radio stations, again depending on what part of the country you're in and the frequencies you need. Then step 8 is basically tools that you can use, and when I say tools, I'm talking primarily about mobile phone apps or computer apps. It lists those that are recommended. Then of course there is some self-promotion, because I wrote this plan and this plan is free for personal use. You can download it, forward it onto your friends and family so that they can be better prepared. So the first part of that is our forums. We've been running forums since 2009. They're free to join, but they are private. You do need to make an introductory post so we get an idea of who's coming in. But it is private. The data is not Googled. It's not trawled by Googles or search bots. Then of course, another bit of self-promotion is this YouTube channel. Then we get onto the template section, which is there for you to complete as part of your disaster preparedness plan. So first of all, we have evacuation locations, ERVs, emergency rendezvous, and you can record where, etc. for a number of ERVs that you might decide that you're going to use. And in this instance, I also suggest that you use the What 3 Words app, and you can then add the locations of that to each of your ERVs, and it makes navigating to it much easier than having to faff about. There's then a section for 24-hour emergency contacts, some of it with generic ones, if you like, are pre-filled. The rest of them are there for you to complete should you wish to do so. Then there's a section for household contacts. So it's name, mobile number, work/school address and landline number for members of your household. Just remember, it's good to have paper copies of this information. You can't always rely on the information on your mobile phone. If your phone's gone flat and you don't know the numbers, you've not got them written down, then you're up poop street. So there is enough room there for 6 members of your household. Then there's non-residential, which is family and friends. And there's a number of pages there for you to record the same details again. We then go on to household and medical information. There are 6 slots, if you like, one for each family of your house, one for each member of your household. And it is basically name, date of birth, national insurance number, NHS number, and whether you're male or female, any known allergies, prescribed medication, known medical history. As it says at the top, it is private and confidential once it's completed. And there is, as I say, enough room for 6 members of your family. Then, if you have got young children, you might want to use a system that I call Who Am I? And basically, it is a small ID card. There is a front and a rear. You just print this page out as many times as you need. If you've got 3 youngsters, print it out 3 times. And it just says, my name is, mother's name, mobile telephone number, father's name, mobile telephone number. You can affix a little photograph there if you want. And on the reverse, it just says, I'm allergic to, and my NHS number. You can use it or not use it, put in as much or as little information as you want. It's entirely up to you. It then gives you some instructions on how to finish that off. And the idea being that you can either attach that to your child's evac pack or put it inside there, or attach it to the body. Think about the kids during World War II when it's mass evacuations and the little luggage tag affixed to their bodies. The last page is a checklist. It mentions various documents that would be beneficial to have copies of if you are forced to evacuate. And there is again space at the bottom of that for you to add your own that are not included in the list. It then has a date of when your plan was completed, and of course, like any good risk assessment, because there pretty much is that, the renewal date you can write down, because you need to be going back to this every 12 months at a maximum, and just making sure the information is correct. I've put my plan into this folder, so I know where it is, and there are additional clear sleeves for me to insert copies of the documents that's mentioned in here, so the whole thing is kept together. If you want to do that, it's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. So if you want a copy of this plan, it is free of charge for personal use. You can download as many copies as you want. Don't need your email address, don't need anything from you. And to find the download link, you need to go to the How to Build an evac Pack video, and it will be in the description. Now, I'd love to read your comments. Have you got a plan? Do you think you'd utilise my plan? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, I would love you to subscribe. If you found the video useful, give us one of them. See you soon.